What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the GW. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, if you were given an elephant and you could not get rid of it, what would you do with it? Would you keep it in your backyard? Would you ride it around? Let me know right down there in the comments box below. Personally, I'd probably make a profit off of it because I'd probably just give elephant rides, I'm assuming this is something where, the town isn't going to come after you about having an elephant, but with that being said, it just kind of brings me back to the days of that Simpsons episode where they get Stampy, and that is definitely a classic, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you go check that one out, but I want to hear what you guys would do with an elephant right down there in the comments box below. So this one's all about the GW by Sigelei, this big honking beast right here. Big shout out and thank you goes to Sigelei for sending this one my way for the purpose of making this video. And yeah, this one's been a pretty interesting ride testing this one out because this thing is huge. This thing is absolutely massive and it takes up a lot of space in my bag. All right guys, so taking a look online, this device comes in a variety of different color options for you to choose from. You have coffee body with gold, coffee body with black, light gray body with gold, and light gray body with black. You also have a full black version and a yellow version as well. This one's going to run you 65 bucks online. If you guys want to pick one up, I'll leave the best links to purchase this thing right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the GW in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging, and then we'll talk about what's inside. So first and foremost, lovely bit of spot gloss right there on the picture of the device. Sigelei GW, a little bit of a design there, and that's about it. On the top we have GW, on the bottom we have Sigelei. On this side here we have the UPC, little scratch-off authentication, and Sigelei logo once again. And on the back we have specs, contents, a QR code, warnings, legal stuff, all that good mumbo jumbo. On the inner box, basically just the Sigelei logo, GW, and their slogan, Vape It, Love It, right there. So let's go ahead and pop the top off real quick. We get first the user manual and its booklet style, which is nice. I'm into that. Again, wordy, tiny little letters. Not my favorite thing in the world. What are you going to do? Then we have the typical please keep your original receipt thing. We've been seeing this over and over and over again. There you go. Warranty card. And then how to use your warranty card. Yeah. Once again, the same old thing from Sigelei. Of course, we should be used to this by now. And QC, this one passed. Yay, pass quality control. There we go, little certificate there. We have the GW itself in its lovely off tan, I don't know what you would even call that. Kind of an interesting color there, but we'll talk about that in just a second. And let me guess. Oh, drum roll please. I'm going to say USB cable. Of course it's a USB cable. We have 1,000 of them. Look, there we go. There's another one for the pile. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it requires two high-amp 18650, 2700, or 21700 batteries. It's 510 threaded. Operating wattage is 10 to 257 watts. Voltage input is 6.4 to 8.4 volts. Voltage output is 1 to 7.5 volts. Temp control with nickel, titanium, stainless steel 316, 317, and TCR supported. The temperature range is 100 to 300 Celsius or 200 to 570 degrees Fahrenheit. Resistance range is 0.05 to 3 ohms. Preheat function, it has a 1-inch TFT color display screen, detailed operating interface, zinc alloy construction. It includes two 18650 battery adapter sleeves. It has a front micro USB charging port, however, external charger is recommended for optimal charging speeds. Alright guys, let's get the GW up and running. Let's just go ahead and pop some batteries in real quick. It is marked, as you can see here, on the battery door itself, positive and negative, so that's the direction that you want to face your batteries. Boom, batteries are installed, and as you can see, a little splash screen pops up there, and boom, you're ready to go. So fairly simple operation with this one here. You have wattage down on this side here, you have wattage up on this side here, and it goes pretty quick once it gets going, but it does start off a little bit on the slower side, but I don't really mind that because sometimes the wattage can go way too fast for my liking. But and in any case, there are 3 clicks on the fire button, 1, 2, 3, will bring you to the menu, and you can go up and down using the plus and minus buttons here. So you have power mode, 316, 317, nickel, TCR, and titanium modes right there. So I'm just going to go to power because that's what I'm using this thing on. If you hold down the bottom 2 buttons right here, the plus and minus, it's for your temperature control mode. That's how you adjust your wattage there. Fire button and down button is a lock, so now you cannot change the wattage. You can go and press these bottom two buttons all you want. It's not going to change. And to unlock it, same thing there. Boom, unlocks right there. You get the little symbol right there at the top. Fire button and wattage up button here is going to be for preheat. You can actually adjust your preheat settings, which is kind of nice, and basically just 5 clicks on and off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to shut off. There you go, system off, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and power on. Very, very simple operation. Really do like that. Really not much to this device, which I like. So one last little flip around before we go back to the main screen. We have the Sigelei in the chrome-plated button right there. We have a chrome-plated tube on this side with the Great Wall with some characters down at the bottom. We have some characters, I have no idea what they mean, on the side here with another little thing. I'm not really sure what that's meant to be, but there you go. If anyone knows what that is, just feel free to drop a comment. We also have another picture of the Great Wall on this side with another chrome-plated tube with some more characters up top there. So a bunch of stuff that I really don't understand, but maybe that's just me. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, and my first pro is this screen. I really love the screen on this thing because it's not overcomplicated, there's not too much information on it, it's got all the pertinent information. Your coil resistance, your voltage, your wattage, your working voltage of your batteries, and also your puff counter, and that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to know. There's no need for a whole bunch of other stuff clogging up the screen and just causing a lot of confusion. My second pro for this one is the simple user interface. This one is very easy to understand. Just 3 clicks gets you into the menu, up and down with the power up and down buttons there, and then click to select. It's very simple and it's easy to understand for the newbie vapors as well as the experienced vapors. If you already own a Sigelei product, it's very similar to what's out there right now, and that's something I definitely love about this one. My third pro for this one is the battery life. I really like using this one with 2 21700 batteries because you get a little bit of a bump in performance there. It's going to last you pretty much all day between, 60 to 80 watts or so. Plus, not to mention, it doesn't have a bunch of extra lights and big screens and touch screens and stuff like that on there, so it's not going to suck up your battery life like that, and therefore you're probably more than likely going to get all day's use out of it. And my fourth and final pro for this one is that it suits the larger atomizers well. Now, I have the Horizon Tech Falcon tank on here right now, and it does look a little bit on the tiny side. However, if I throw my Elite V2, which is 28 millimeters on top, it's going to look a lot more appropriate, and therefore it's just something that you could say about the GW that you can't really say about too many other mods on the market nowadays. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that it's ugly. This is definitely one of the ugliest mods I've ever put my hands on, and therefore it doesn't really leave the office all that much, but with that, I could see myself using this one a little bit more often if it was fully black, but the way it is right now with the brown color and these ugly chrome accents, I'm just really not a big fan there. Not really sure what they were going for with this one, and also the whole Chinese, Great Wall thing going on the outside edges here. It doesn't really suit me, it doesn't really fit my sort of aesthetic, and I'm just not a big fan. My second con for this one is that it's massive. This thing is huge, it's bulky, it's heavy, it's just not really comfortable to hold all day long, and with that, it takes up my entire hand here. I've got pretty big hands, and I could barely even grip onto this thing all the way. Really, it's just not the most practical device to carry around with you all day long, and therefore, it doesn't get that much use. My third con for this one is the gaps. This thing is covered in gaps all over the place. You have this big seam along the back edge there with big ugly screws on it, and you have a big gap going around the battery door. The battery door itself feels really cheap and weak and really poorly designed, and I really feel like that's going to be the first thing to break. It's a pain in the ass getting the batteries in and out of this thing, and being able to latch that battery door closed all the way. It just feels like it's going to give out on me any second. And my fourth and final con for this one is that it looks cheap. This thing looks thrown together last minute, like they really just needed a 2700, 21700 mod to be out on the market to compete with the rest of the industry. industry, and with that, it just really feels like they didn't finish the design. It feels like they could have done a lot better with this one here if they took a little bit more time with it, and therefore it just kind of feels like it's cheapening up the brand of Sigelei. Sigelei, in my opinion, used to be one of the finest quality kind of devices. You had the Sigelei Legend back in the day, which had really nice lines to it, very clean and sleek looking and kind of on the upper echelon of technology. And then they threw out this device here, which just looks like a big, well, you know what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to say no to this one. It just really doesn't meet my standards when it comes to these sort of mods. And with that, comparing it to something like the iJoy Diamond that's really nice and sleek looking and stylish and very well functioning as well, this thing just doesn't stack up in my opinion. I really can't see myself even using this thing outside of this little office here. Hopefully Sigelei listens to all the reviews that are out there and just learns their lesson from this design, moves forward and moves past this one onto the next design and just comes out with something groundbreaking. But otherwise, I'm just going to stick with my other 2700, 21700 mods for the time being until they can really wow me once again. But with that, if you guys want to grab one of these for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the GW or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. All the links right down there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on. Blah, 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 blah.